Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg podcast.
I'm Rose, also known as Cheap Lazy Vegan on YouTube.
And I'm Daniel, one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends who love to talk about the latest trending topics.
So get comfortable and join us while we give our SaVeg take on just about everything.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast. Hello.
Hello, everyone. And guess what?
What?
We are back to our regular programming.
For now.
For a short
For
period
2 weeks, there's going to be regular scheduled programming.
Yes. And then what's happening, Rose?
And then I'm going to Bali.
Oh, goddamn. Rose will be going back to Bali.
I'll be a travel influencer now, Daniel.
You
Speaking
is.
of which,
Oh, goddamn.
we going to be announcing another trip.
Where are we going?
You and I.
Where are we going, Rose?
We going to the Canadian Rockies.
God damn.
We going to drive all the way to Banff.
God damn, that'd be far as hell.
It's about an hour and a half away. So, guys, let's talk normal for a second.
Yeah.
We will be hosting a vegan camping and hiking trip in the Canadian Rockies. We're going to Banff and Kananaskis, Alberta, which is actually only about an hour and a half away
From our
home.
Yeah.
So, and Daniel is co-hosting with me.
Yeah, that'll be so fun.
So it's going to be super fun. The trip is selling like hotcakes, my
Yeah.
friends, okay? Already sold like 11 spots.
Yeah.
By the time this goes out to the public, I don't know how many more will be left, but the max I think is 22 or something.
Okay.
So chop.
And for those of you that have not been to the Canadian Rockies, Google it. Do yourself a favor. Type in Lake Louise. Look up Banff. Look at these places. They are like, we're really fortunate. Like,
Yes.
the Rocky Mountains is one of the most beautiful parts of Canada, I think.
Oh,
Like, I'm biased,
it's number
obviously.
one.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually named number one of the national parks.
Yeah. It's just beautiful. It's so nice. And then honestly, guys, like, well, obviously it's not for everybody, but I love camping.
Yeah.
And I love hiking. So if
Yes.
you like those two things, you should definitely join.
Yes, it's definitely not for everybody.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. We will be camping the entire time. You don't have to bring your own tent, but you have to bring your own like sleeping bag and stuff. The details will be linked below, guys. Okay. Have a look. You do have to have like a moderate level of hiking experience, I think, or at least moderate level fitness.
Yeah, this is the thing with hiking. Okay, like you don't necessarily, I feel like with hiking, as long as you have a moderate level of fitness, you'll be fine. But like you have to have that there because
Okay. Yes. It's not super easy.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to be just like a walk in the park,
Yeah.
but it's not super difficult. Like as long as, again, average level of fitness, you have, you can go on a walk and not like lose your breath.
Yeah.
You'll be okay. Probably.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
But it's definitely not a regular schmegular trip. It's definitely a hiking and camping trip. It's going to be so fun. It's going to be awesome. Again, selling like hotcakes. Check it out.
Yeah.
It is going to be epic. It's happening in August 2025.
God damn. Next year.
So sign up, you guys, and you can meet both of us
Yes.
in the Canadian motherfucking Rockies.
In basically our hometown.
I'm so excited.
Like literally up the road from our house.
It's going to be sick. We're going to do Lake Louise. We're doing a hike in Lake Louise. We're doing Moraine Lake.
Yep.
We're going to do a gondola ride up to Sulphur Mountain.
Oh.
Have lunch up on the mountain.
I love that gondola ride.
The gondola.
Yeah.
We're doing a bike tour in Banff.
Okay, that'll
so
be
you
fun.
can see me struggle on a bike.
I wonder if they're going to do the biking trail that's like from...
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, check it out, you guys. Read the details and sign up for the trip.
Yes.
And we also have more patrons.
Oh, yeah. So, guys, for those of you that don't know, Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you guys.
We were a bit shady.
We were a bit shady. We did the September exclusive, and we gave y'all the tea that y'all have been waiting for. The tea on Nikocado avocado.
Nikocado avocado.
I can never fucking say it, okay? Nikocado avocado. Anyway, because Rose and I actually, we did meet him both in person many years ago. Back in the day, back in the heydays. So we kind of talk about that experience and stuff. So if you want to check that out, go check out our Patreon, patreon.com/thesavagepodcast.
Yeah.
You'll get access to all of our other exclusive episodes, some super juicy, some not as juicy, but there's lots of great extra content on there. We do an exclusive episode every single month. You get all the content ad free, and also you get it a week before everybody else, and you get a shout out.
And you get a shout out at the show. So as as mentioned, we will shout out all our new patrons.
Yeah, so we got quite a few this month. So you want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay, Lisa Z.
How do you say that name, Daniel? Tuvo?
Yep.
I think.
Yep.
Sorry if I'm saying that wrong.
We got Ava.
Lovelyn.
And Nita.
Thanks, guys, for joining our Patreon family. I know a lot of you probably just joined to hear the tea, but hopefully some of you are here to
welcome, stay. Welcome. And for all y'all newcomers,
yes,
if there are any like specific topics or things you want us to discuss in the exclusive episodes, leave some comments on, private message us on the Patreon.
Yeah, so that's another thing you could do if you become a patron.
Yes, exactly.
Check it out, guys. Links are in the show notes.
Awesome.
All right, no more self-promotion. No. Shall we go into the stories?
We shall go into the stories.
Okay, so we got to talk about, oh God, we didn't even pull up the story.
We haven't pulled them up yet, Roses. God damn. You just reminded me, Rose, I need to go to the store and get some baby oil.
How long you been waiting to say that?
Oh, I've been waiting till you got back, Rose, okay? Oh, God, the story that just...
What, Daniel?
I just don't... There's just so much going on with Diddy.
P. Diddy, guys. What a shady-ass motherfucker.
There's so much random shit. The thing that we're taught, like, the latest... I don't know if it's, like, the latest, but that went super viral was around, I guess, when the police, were raiding his house. Yeah. And they found, this has gone viral.
The 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
Yes.
Yeah. So the joke is people are like, oh my God, Johnson & Johnson loses their best customer.
But not only that, it was really funny because they were like saying, I guess his lawyer was like trying to defend him. And he's like, people, they just buy in bulk at Costco. Like this is what people do.
Nobody buys. Who is using more than one bottle of baby oil like a year? Listen. I don't want to kink shame, okay? You can enjoy whatever you want. The problem is not the baby oil.
No.
The problem is...
the quantity of the baby oil.
And what he's doing with the baby oil.
Yeah.
Okay, is the baby oil being used consensually? I don't think so.
Someone's getting lotioned up.
Someone's getting lotioned up without consent.
Exactly.
It's actually fucked up.
It's so messed up. And when this all came out, though, apparently Costco responded.
Costco?
Yeah.
Oh, because people were buying baby...
Because they were saying that he was buying it at bulk.
Sure.
And like, I don't know if it was actually Costco or it was like on Twitter or whatever. And Costco responded and was like, we actually don't sell that much baby oil in that big of bulk or something. It was hilarious. Anyway.
So... Sean Diddy Combs, a man with many fucking names, accused of rape in latest assault lawsuit. Here's a complete look at the allegations.
Well, because we know from the last time we talked about this, there's all of these like things going on. There was the whole incident with him abusing Cassie, the other singer.
Yes.
And there just seems to be more and more stories.
There's a lot. So the most recent update, Combs was accused of drugging and raping a woman on multiple occasions, with the woman identified as Jane Doe in the lawsuit, further alleging she became pregnant after. So like basically the main thing is that it seems that he likes to assault
women.
And sometimes I think even like men. He just like and apparently he has these like Diddy parties. Have you heard of those? Where basically he's throwing these giant parties where I think people get drugged or they're really heavily under some kind of influence.
Fucking hell.
And then they're like, doing the deed. He's watching.
Yeah.
And then like baby oil gets thrown around. I don't know.
Yeah.
So like shit like that. He's been doing this for years. And the reason why though, there's like a lot of evidence is because he filmed all of this.
Fuck.
He has this all in tape because he used that as blackmail against the people that were in the video.
So,
right?
So what he would do is like, again, he would like obviously have these parties, drug some people, like some people would get drugged or whatever. So they're not really fully themselves. They're not consenting to a lot of stuff that's going on. Yeah. It would be filmed. And then if they tried to have any retribution, he was like, well, I have all this stuff on tape and I can just release it.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Let's see here.
It's crazy. There's so many details.
There's many accusations.
Yeah. It sounds like a lot of people have come forward. A lot of women. Has there been men as well that have come forward?
There's all this talk about like Justin Bieber.
Yeah, like what's going on with that?
I don't really know. I don't think he's actually come out and said it.
But maybe, and again, I don't know this fully because there is a lot of stuff going on about Justin Bieber, and maybe like Diddy, like when Justin was really young, had him at some of these parties, as like he wasn't participating, but he was just like a voyeur. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
And he probably wasn't consenting, didn't want to be there, but he was just like, because Diddy has this influence. And I think a big thing, and I don't know why he did this stuff, but it's like this whole like power thing for him.
It's a power thing for sure.
Yeah, because he's like, I'm Diddy, I'm like this, you know, you guys are, and he just is like sitting back and just watching, you know, and
it's giving like Squid Game.
Yeah.
You know that guy, the spoiler. Okay?
Yeah, spoiler alert, guys.
By the way,
spoilers.
if you haven't seen Squid Game by now,
where have you been?
Like, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Okay,
Yeah.
So the rich guy, he says so basically, if you guys know the game, right? There's like this game where people are killing each other because they want to win this big prize, and all the participants are like poor and they're all like fucking dying. It's basically like Gladiator on crack, and then. At the end, it turns out these rich people basically designed this game just for shits and giggles.
For fun. And they would like bet on them and stuff.
They would bet on them. It'd be like
a
whole thing.
Yeah. And because they're bored.
They're bored. Exactly. Yeah. So I think part of it is like they're bored. Part of it's like power, like ego, wanting power over people.
It's a control thing, right? It's like you're dominating somebody and like, you know, and it's fine if it's consensual, right? Like if like obviously there's a lot of people into that kind of stuff, you know?
Oh, yeah. Consensual is fine.
Yeah. It's just that the fact that it's not. And also, I feel like a lot of people, this comes out time and time again where there's like usually men in positions of power.
Almost always men.
I know. Fucking men, right? In positions of power that like use it and take advantage.
Yes.
Like it's just.
It doesn't even shock me. We shouldn't even be shocked at this point. No. And to be fair, Diddy, probably the least shocking.
I know. Like, you know what's really fucked up though is like look at all of these. Like we all knew this was kind of going on, not necessarily directly with Diddy, but we know that like
something's going on.
Exactly, and we all know that like Hollywood and all this stuff. That's kind of a shady industry. Like it looks like the glitz and glams on the outside. It's like ooh, these like beautiful movie stars and like these amazing movies and music artists and like all this cool stuff happening. There's so much shit that happens behind the scenes where it's like you see it's coming out with this like Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein. Like you have all of this shit going on and you're like, holy fuck, you have like Amanda Bynes, all these like young Disney stars like
that are traumatized.
Yes. And it's just like more and more of this is coming out and coming to light. And it's like, what the fuck is going on?
What is going on over there?
Yeah.
I know.
It's crazy, but it's like I think the nature of the beast of like the entertainment industry in general is I feel like it's I guess all industries, but this industry in particular, it's like it's like set up almost to like, hey, I'm famous.
Yes.
I can make you famous. You want to be famous. Fuck me.
Yeah.
And I'll make you famous. So it's like kind of
Yeah. It's like a big thing in the entertainment world.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's fucked up. So like basically he would have these Diddy parties.
Yeah.
So I guess one P Diddy party guest attended nude drug-fueled freak off party at aged just 16.
When I heard about this, like there's a lot of these parties and stuff that he was having, there's underage people.
Yes.
There's also some question around, I don't know if it's been confirmed, if some of the people attending these parties were actually like trafficked. Like if it was
there was that thing too.
Yeah, there was like
he's
some
been charged with like sex trafficking.
Yes.
Racketeering or whatever. Is that the term?
I'm not sure.
That's where I just learned it through Diddy.
Yeah. And did he do it?
That racketeering. Did he do it? He did it.
He did it.
So I guess racketeering is when you have a company, like you own a corporation, but you do illegal things within the corporation.
Right.
I think. Let me double check.
Yeah. See what that is. I've heard the term before. I've just, but again, it's like.
Yeah. So it's a set of illegal activities aimed at commercial profit that may be disguised as legitimate business deals.
Right.
So he was doing some shady ass shit with all his businesses.
Yeah.
He's throwing these freak off parties and, having people drugged up, having potentially
unsolicited,
not consensual sex.
Yeah.
And also having minors in there, just like fucking illegal shit.
Yeah.
And then beating women. Like, how bad can this man get?
I know. It's actually like kind of disgusting.
It's
like
so bad.
The more that comes out, and I remember the last time we talked about Diddy. We watched the video. Do you remember when we watched the video of him and Cassie?
It was fucked.
It was like this man was like, it wasn't like a little like, when you see something in like a movie, and I'm not justifying anything, but sometimes it can be a little bit it's a little bit like, is it gray area, but this was like boom, boom, and I was
and
like,
it wasn't even like, again, not justifying.
Yeah,
it wasn't even like, oh my god, like slapped her and then immediately was like, oh shit. It was like, no, this man has beat up multiple women in his life.
100%, guys. And the worst part is too, why a lot of this takes so long to come out is because people that are, you know, they're nervous to come out because this person's so powerful.
Yes.
They have so much money. They have so much shit going on.
Exactly.
And you're just like, fuck, no one's going to believe me.
Exactly. And a lot of things do get swept on the rug, even for regular people.
Exactly. Well, I think that the challenge with any of this, like graping, you know, assault, all this stuff, it's like a lot of the time, if you don't report it right away, there might be no physical evidence.
Exactly.
And then it becomes your word against theirs. And that's why a lot of people are resistant to do it, because if I was to go and say, hey, this guy assaulted me at a party, right? Then all of a sudden it's my word against his if I have no evidence with me.
Yeah.
And then it becomes, if we did go to court, it then becomes a case of like character.
Sure.
Who am I as a person? And then the jury and judge will try to, or like the opposition will try to attack my character.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's hard to prove. It is, because ultimately, like, you are technically innocent until proven guilty. Yeah. So you do have, the onus is on the person accusing to prove. But when it comes to something like grape, it's very difficult to prove.
Exactly.
Right? Very, very difficult. So that's what makes it very challenging. But with Diddy, fucking filmed it all. This dumbass motherfucker.
And you know what? He probably also filmed it to watch it in his own free time.
For sure. It's definitely not just for, you know, like, blackmail. I think it's probably for his own pleasure.
Yeah. And this can be another thing too, is like, if we were like invited to the party, let's just pretend, right?
Yeah.
Not saying like, and let's say Diddy just like invited us to a party. We're like, oh, this is kind of cool. Let's go. We didn't know what we were in store for. We get there, and then maybe we're like willingly partaking in a little bit of substances, right? But then it escalates. And then that's when it also gets even harder, because then if you go to the court, they'll be like, well, you were there partying.
Right. Sure.
But it's like, well, no, I didn't consensually take that much of that. Or there was a different substance in my drink. You know what I mean? Like it gets really shady, but like, oh, you were already on coke and MDMA. Like,
so maybe that part will be slightly harder to prove, because then he might just be like, oh, they took it because they wanted to.
Exactly. They were partying. They were having a good time. Yeah. That's where it gets really, anytime there's like parties involved and stuff, the lines get really blurred. Yeah. Because they could be like, well, she said yes, but she was really, really drunk. And like, you know, it starts to get like, I don't know. It's going to be crazy.
But then I guess it also depends, right? Because technically, you can't technically consent in a court of law if you're under the influence.
This is true.
So, but I mean, how many times are people fucking under the influence? Like 90% of the time? Right. But at the same time, I feel like if both of you are like consensually under the influence, and you're both having a great time and it leads there, then like, you know, you had sex. Great. Yeah. But if one of you is more fucked up than the other, that's when it becomes, you're like, you know, that's when it becomes a bit shady. Yeah. Okay. You don't want.
Also, I just like, and this is just me. I think I said this last time on the podcast.
You don't want to fuck someone that's completely fucked up.
Oh my god! I just think I can't think of anything worse. Like if I met some guy at the bar and I was slightly.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna say anything.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I'm sure that you have been very fucked up. And then somebody was like, yeah, I'm going to get a piece of that.
I mean, it has happened. But I'm just saying, for me, on the other side.
Like if you were sober.
Yeah.
Of course.
Or if I was only slightly tipsy and then this guy was like super drunk trying to get with me, like I'd be like, oh my God, like no.
Yeah.
Like no.
But I mean, fuck. If only everyone thought the way that we think. Yeah. But unfortunately, people have these weird like things where they like getting people drugged up and fucking, you know,
fetished.
It's so fucked up.
It is.
So anyways, the crazy thing with Diddy is that he's so fucked up that he was denied bail. I think bail was like, I think they tried to get him bail for like, let me look it up. I think it was like 50 million or something insane.
Yeah. You know why also though that I feel like in this whole circumstance, they might be less likely to grant him bail. Or give him any kind of like, because once you get to this like this level of like wealth and everything else, sure, if you grant him bail, like
he can flee.
Exactly. And there's countries that you can go to outside of America, be extradited. Exactly, where they can't come and get you.
I think that's why.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was denied bail twice by a federal judge, because over concerns that he poses a safety risk to the community and witnesses. Oh, yes, so that's another thing. There's witnesses to this case.
Right.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
There's witnesses, so those witnesses need to be protected.
Yeah.
Right? Because this man, again, and people are saying that he is just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
People are saying there's other more powerful people involved. There's all kinds of people talking. They're like, oh, there's people higher up, and he's just not a scapegoat, but he's just like the person that they were gonna, sacrifice.
Honestly, the things that go on,
I know,
behind closed doors in the celebrity world.
God, people are just so fucking bored.
I'm like, what the actual?
This is why tax the motherfucking rich, okay? Because when people get this rich, they will do fucking crazy ass shit just because they're bored and they want to keep their power and they want to feel important because their little man ego can't handle just being rich as fuck.
Well, think about how much money he's wasted on baby oil alone. 1,000 bottles of baby oil. I think baby oil is like $10 bucks. $10 for a bottle. I actually don't know how much it is, but let's say it's $10 a bottle.
It's probably not even 10. But
Okay, let's say it's $8 a bottle. That's $8,000 you've spent on fucking baby oil, okay?
Oh, he probably made $8,000 before breakfast.
Well, he would have.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, it's crazy.
Oh God, I don't even know. So anyways, he has a lot of things. He's facing a mandatory, if convicted, he's facing a mandatory minimum term of 15 years in prison and maximum sentence of imprisonment for life. I mean, if anything was just, he would get for life because the amount of people, again, like I don't even know all the details because it's so much.
There seems to be every day there's like a new story about Diddy.
Oh my God, he's so fucked up.
Yeah.
So anyways, the whole thing is really messed up, and a lot of people are saying that there's a lot more people involved than we might know.
Oh God. This is like the Jeffrey Epstein thing all over again. You know, his like private island that people would go to.
Did you know who Jeffrey Epstein was before?
No.
That's the thing, because he was like a big deal, but I feel like he wasn't as famous.
He wasn't famous per se, but the thing is that he was a big deal. He was really wealthy.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Right.
And he was like I think he was like a financial advisor or he did something with finances
Okay.
for wealthy people.
Right.
So he was well connected in that community.
Right.
Not just with celebrities though, like really wealthy, high up people.
Sure.
And so that's why I never really heard of him before.
So, but that case was already crazy. But Diddy is like worldwide famous.
Yeah.
So this is like even more insane.
Yeah.
Anyway, hopefully he gets all of the charges.
I know the thing is, there are places, if you want to go do kinky shit.
Yes.
There are so many places in the world, especially when you have limitless money. You can go to so many different places, have consensual experiences, get your freak on.
But he can't exert his power the way he wants to.
Oh, there's places you can pay and do that. There are places where...
He probably gets off on the fact that it's like non-consensual, which is so fucked up.
That's true. And he's like, I'm in control here.
Well, this reminds me, remember that story of that woman that was drugged by her husband?
Oh my God. Oh.
So I actually listened to like a full like podcast episode on this. It is so fucked up. So yeah, for basically a woman, I think we kind of cover this.
We talked about it, yeah.
So this French woman, she's been married for like 50 years.
Yep.
Has children. She has grandchildren. Happy family. As far as she's concerned, she's happy as a clam. But then for like however many years, for like the last 10 years, she's been dealing with like random blackouts, random just like health concerns where she's just kind of like out of it, zoned out, doesn't remember going to bed. These little things. She's going to the doctors. They're doing all these tests. Nobody can figure out what the fuck's going on. Okay, because all the tests are coming out normal. Like she's completely healthy, but she's obviously having these issues. One day her husband comes to her and says, I'm getting arrested because I was caught taking pictures of women under their fucking dress, under their skirt.
Can you imagine like your partner comes up to you and
says that? Your partner that's like fucking 70 years old, by the way, or 60.
Exactly. And you're like, what are you doing?
Oh my God. Anyways, so I guess he's probably a smooth talker, whatever.
Yeah.
Talks her out of divorcing him or whatever. He's like, oh, it's just, I made one mistake. And then the police call her and say, ma'am, you're going to have to come in.
Yeah, because they had his laptop,
yes.
Right? They had seized his laptop.
Seized his laptop. And then the things they found on the laptop.
Yes.
Not only pictures of her, tons of pictures of her.
Yeah.
With random men.
Mm-hmm. Videos, I think, too.
Videos, pictures. She's passed out. Completely, obviously has no recollection of any of these people. Doesn't know who these people are. basically the husband would just, and he wasn't even doing it for money, which is another fucked up part.
God.
Not that it's any better, but like,
either way.
but he was just doing it for his own personal pleasure.
Yeah.
He would just invite random men over from the internet to go and have sex with his wife when she is unconscious, passed out. And he's been doing it for 10 years.
God. It's so bad.
And he also had pictures of his daughters.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all fucking terrible.
It's all fucking terrible.
And you know, can you imagine? Like, I'm just trying to put myself in her shoes.
Oh my God, I don't even want to.
Imagining your partner and then realizing your partner has let multiple people
oh my God.
have sex with you, probably unprotected.
Oh yeah, there's something about that as well.
Like all of these other people putting you in danger, doing all this stuff. Like, and the fact that you like literally, oh my God.
How do you ever trust anybody?
You don't.
Like, I would lose all faith in anyone.
You literally do not at that point. That is so fucking disgusting.
So fucked up.
Oh God, it gives me chills. It gives me chills.
So this is what I mean. Fucking hell. You have everything that you want and you're doing this kind of shit.
It's crazy.
Are you
it's
fucking
crazy.
kidding me? Anyway, what's the next story?
So the next story, I kind of want to talk about this one. It's a little bit, it keeps going in line with this fucked up shit that's going on. So recently, and the reason I want to talk about it.
Do I need to pull it up?
No. Well, I mean, you can, but you don't have to.
Oh, are we talking about
the Menendez?
The Menendez brothers.
I think it's Menendez. Let me
yes. Well, this is a very famous old true crime story. Yes. But I think recently it's coming up because
so guys,
there's a new documentary.
So there's two. There's a documentary that came out. So there's like a series called Monsters, and they did a docu-series on Jeffrey Dahmer.
Okay.
And that was like a really popular one that they had like an actor play him, and they're doing the same thing for the Menendez brothers, right? So
it's a dramatized story.
Yes.
Okay.
But like they like did such a good job in terms of like copying this court scenes and like they're doing all the poses and whatever. So long story short, the reason I want to talk about it is because there's another documentary coming out.
Okay.
October 7th. So
my birthday.
Your birthday, Rose. Happy birthday.
Thanking you. It be coming up.
Turning 30.
I'm turning 26. I don't know what you're talking about.
But so the Menendez brothers, even when the story came out, there was like conflicted things because there are some people that are in the camp that, I mean, they did kill their parents. Like,
okay, we need to give a little bit of context.
Yeah.
Here. So the Menendez brothers, as far as I know, they were convicted in 1996.
Yeah.
Because of the murders of their parents.
Yes.
So I don't think there's any denial that they did murder their parents.
No.
But what came out during the trial and all these things was that the dad was abusing the sons.
Allegedly, yes.
Allegedly.
Yes.
So a lot of people believe the sons, and I kind of do as well.
Yeah.
I don't know fully. I need to look into it more.
Yeah.
But I think on face value, from what I've seen, I believe them.
Yeah.
What do you think, Daniel?
Well, I don't know. I'm on the fence still.
Oh,
so
really?
I'm watching the documentary right now.
So there's two sides. Some people don't believe them.
Yeah. So because there's also, when you look at the crime, how it happened, how they tried to cover it up, all this stuff that kind of went on and stuff, people are like, it's a little bit suspicious. Like there's definitely some levels of suspicion. So you have the camp that's with Rose. That's like, you know what? They acted out because they have all this trauma that happened and they, their dad did this. Then there's the other camp that are like, no, they're like guilty and they're just making this all up. So anyway, the reason that this is getting really interesting is Netflix is releasing a documentary October 7th.
Okay.
Because right now this one that's out, the
Monsters,
is like just from a certain point of view. This one is going to be from the brothers themselves.
Oh,
so
interesting.
Netflix has interviewed them in prison.
Okay.
To tell their side of the story.
Right.
And that's coming out October 7th.
So are you leaning toward one side or the other?
I don't know.
What is the kind of evidence or what is the kind of like parts that make you kind of question?
Well, I haven't watched the full documentary yet,
okay.
But there was like a lot of things. Like initially, they obviously tried to cover up the murders. So
they murdered them. So
this is true. They hid the shotguns. There was some other stuff going on. They also, right after their parents passed away, or not passed away, were murdered. They started like spending super recklessly,
right?
Because their parents were quite wealthy,
very wealthy,
and they were in line to get like quite a large inheritance.
Sure.
And so, but there's also some controversy that their dad had said that they were out of the will and they weren't getting an inheritance. So there's that piece as well.
Okay.
So anyway, but then they started spending like crazy.
Right.
But then some people have come forward and said that their spending never changed. It was always like this.
Oh, sure.
So there's like mixed things.
Right.
Yeah. But
I wonder if there's any evidence of again, this is hard to prove. Like,
but that's another thing. There's no evidence of the actual, but at the same time, there's new people coming forward that said that their dad also had done stuff to them.
Who, their dad.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, I think
this is what I mean. I believe the brothers.
I think one of their cousins maybe did it. And also apparently they're both in prison right now, but they're volunteering in the prison to help like counsel or help work with like sexual assault victims.
Here's why I believe it. Because I saw the footage of them in court. Like the live footage. I guess it was like filmed or whatever. Okay?
Yeah.
I saw which is kind of fucked up.
I know.
People should not be filming. Like, yes, it's entertaining for the rest of us, but goddamn, that's traumatizing.
I know.
Anyways, so I saw the footage, and the way that when the brothers were like testifying and stuff, like they would have to, I'm sorry, like if it is fake, they need to go and work for Hollywood
and get an Academy Award or something.
Yeah, and be a fucking actor, because there were tears. Like, it was just. I feel like it's very, very hard to fake that emotion.
Yeah. And they said some like really weird stuff. Like I remember I saw one clip where they're like, I put like cinnamon in my dad's coffee or something because apparently it was supposed to make it taste better.
Oh God.
Yeah. Just like all kinds of like.
God.
I know.
Why are people so fucked up?
I know. It's actually crazy. Like.
Anyway, we don't know if it actually happened, but like, I don't know. For me, again, I guess some people do kill just for inheritance which is also fucked up. Like, imagine killing your parents to get money. But like, it's so wild.
Yeah.
And especially like if you already live this very privileged lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to get the money anyways.
Exactly.
It's like, why go through this? Like,
well, that's another part too. You're right. Like if you're okay, this is the thing. If you come from a really wealthy family, you're already like, it's not like you're like scrimping and you know what, you're already living a very privileged life. Yeah. Like,
do you need to kill your dad for the inheritance?
Exactly. Because it's like, the inheritance might give you a bit more money, but you already got money.
Yeah, you already probably got the best schooling, the best education,
fancy cars
and everything. Yeah. And just by default, you're going to be better off than so that's another reason why I'm like, I'm more inclined to believe the brothers.
Right.
Just because it's like, they weren't struggling for cash. So it's like, all of a sudden, the two brothers are going to scheme together to kill their fucking parents.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, it can happen and it does happen.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's very likely.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess I'll have to see the documentary as well.
So I'm going to finish the one, guys, the Monsters one, and then I want to see October 7th when it comes out and they tell their story. I need to hear it.
And then you're going to tell me what you think.
And then I can tell you guys how I feel after watching it. Like, there's certain the thing is, it's hard with a documentary though too, because it's like it's filmed in a point of view.
Yes.
But then also it's like, you watch some of them, like Making a Murder, for example, and it's like, it's filmed with a certain point of view. But also all the things that they talked about, it seems like crazy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't understand how they could even film it on another point of view.
Right. Well, I think some people say for certain documentaries, they like omit certain information.
Right.
And I've seen with the Making a Murderer, again, I don't remember the details now, but I remember people were trying to like debunk or like say, oh, it didn't say this information, this.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I feel like it was never convincing enough. But again, maybe I was just biased already because I watched Making a Murderer.
Yeah.
For me, I'm just like, that man was not smart enough to get away with this murder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that, because like remember there was like that scene. I think this is the thing that sold it for me. There was like that scene in the garage.
Oh yeah.
With all his shit.
So much shit.
Literally, it was like fucking hoarders all over the walls. Everything. Shit everywhere. And they said that the murder happened in that garage.
And there was not a spot of blood.
There's not a spot of blood. It is impossible. I am sorry.
Yeah. I think they found one drop of blood or something, and it was like just like one, and it was like felt like it was strategically placed.
Exactly.
They're like, and also the concrete. I remember there was like cracks in the concrete and stuff, and like the thing is, if you have like fucking holes in the floor, cracks in the concrete, it is going to be so easy for blood to like seep where you can't clean it.
Yes, it's going to be impossible to leave no trace.
Especially in like a hoarder's den.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Like if someone gets murdered in a fucking hoarder's den, you can bet there is going to be blood somewhere in there.
There's no way. Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyways, goddamn, we'd be going off on a tangent.
We'd be digressing. But anyway, the Menendez brothers,
so
guys.
do you like the show or should I watch it?
So far, so good.
Okay.
I'm enjoying it.
You're enjoying it.
But I want to see their side of the story.
Sure. You want to see their point of view there.
I want to see it. I want to see how it makes me feel.
It is sad, though, because they were convicted.
I know.
And they're both in jail.
And they're in jail right now.
They've been in jail for almost 30 years.
I know.
Wait.
God.
Almost 40. Wait a second. No, 30 years. Right, Daniel? Don't make me freak out. 1996. I freak out now because I'm like, yeah, almost 30 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
Almost 30 years. Yeah, they're in their 50s now.
I know, it's so sad.
Their whole life.
Their whole life.
30 years gone.
But I mean, again, like, they shouldn't have killed him in the first place.
Well, of course.
Gone to the. But then again, or would they? Oh God damn! Is it still going? Low power mode. Do you find that your iPhone battery is it still okay? Mine is getting shitty.
Let me tell you about that in a second. We will digress.
Is there a conspiracy?
There's not a conspiracy. Okay, guys. Side note. Pause on that one. The Menendez.
new iPhone came out.
So let me tell you guys something. I have an old iPhone. Okay.
Oh yeah. The other one.
Yeah.
Right.
So this one's an old one too. This is like iPhone 11 that I have right now that we're recording on.
Ooh.
And let me tell you guys something. I recently upgraded because I like always try to keep up to date with all the iOS updates and everything else. And oh my God, I have not had any issues with this phone really.
Yeah.
It's been fine. Like sometimes it's occasionally a little bit slower, like whatever. As soon as I've upgraded to the iOS 18, which is the most like up-to-date version.
Yes.
Literally my apps at one point, I think I was on WhatsApp and I was messaging, and you know when the keys like get stuck and it's like slowly typing?
Yes.
I was like, that's never happened to me before. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like opening apps. They're like so slow. Even Google Chrome.
No.
And I'm just like, what?
It's Apple telling you to get a new iPhone.
I know. And I'm like, they're
pissing me off.
They're phasing it out because I have an iPhone 11 and I should be on the 16 now or whatever.
This is what I mean. Now I'm like, okay. Because I have iPhone 13 Pro, whatever.
Yeah.
But now it's what? iPhone 16 or some shit?
Yeah.
But it's like my phone works fine. But now all of a sudden, my battery is getting shittier and it's getting very shitty very quickly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is this because the new fucking iPhone came out and they're fucking over the old ones?
I think that's what, and I think it's like part of their business model. Because
yes,
again, and we've talked about this before, guys. We're in this like era of like late stage capitalism.
Yes.
And you look at a company like Apple, like obviously they're doing really well, but like think about like smartphones, right? When they first came out, I was like, oh my God, smartphones. And you had all these enhancements and everything else. But like now we're into the iPhone like 16 territory. And let me tell you, like the iPhone 11, unless they do stuff that makes it slow down, there's literally, it does everything I needed.
Exactly.
I could keep this phone for another 10 years.
This is what I mean. I have no other issues with this phone now, but now it's like, oh, the battery level is like really bad.
Yeah. So I think you might be able to like take it in to get the battery replaced,
right?
Because you can claim like there's like a weird thing,
right?
Because they're not supposed to do this.
Okay, well they do.
I know.
And then I've also seen on TikTok this trend of, I mean, I don't know how big of a trend this is, but people basically complaining that iPhone has not been innovative for the last, I mean, people are saying since like Steve Jobs or whatever.
Yeah.
Because if you look at, for example, like there's this new phone by both Samsung and also there's one by Motorola. Yeah. Where it's like a flip phone, where it's like basically it's like it's like a phone, but you can like fold it.
Right.
And then you can also, and it's like it looks really cool and cute, and I don't know how I feel about it. I think it could be like, it's just like cool, right? It's like you know, back in the day, cell phones were all different. Like people come up with this type of cell phone, and then you could slide it, or you could fold it.
Side flip.
You could side flip. You could flip it. You could just you could do all kinds of shit. Now it's like everyone has the same fucking brick phone.
Yep.
And with iPhone especially, and I think there is some truth to it. It's like they just stick to the standard model, slightly upgrade the video quality. Yeah. Slightly upgrade the processing chip or whatever, memory, whatever the fuck. Yeah. But otherwise, it's the same shit. So like, why do I want to upgrade?
Exactly, and that's the thing. And I think that they're, because I have read and I've seen that the sales of new iPhones
have gone down.
So like the thing is, realistically, an iPhone 13, like it's a good phone. I mean, you could have it for years. Yes. As long as the battery and everything else isn't doing what it's doing. Same for mine, iPhone 11. And I think more and more people, especially now that everything's getting so fucking expensive.
Yes, I don't want to get a new phone.
Exactly. Do I need to get a $1,200 phone?
$1,200? That's a steal, Daniel.
I know. I'm like, absolutely. And also, like, seriously, think about it. Like, my first cell phone was like $200.
I know.
Like, the fact that they're like $1,500.
It's ridiculous.
It's insane.
So I've recently started rewatching Breaking Bad. Fucking iconic show. Yeah. This is probably like my 5th time rewatching it.
Oh my God.
Such a good show.
Yeah.
But they're using like flip phones, and I'm like I can't even talk. Flip phones. Yeah. And I'm like, God, those simpler times.
Do we need to bring them back, Rose?
I mean, now the thing is, we've gone to the point of no return. You know what I mean?
Have we though?
How many times have we had some kind of technology and then gone back on the technology?
Not often.
Exactly.
But also, like, we're also in a very, like, this whole technology thing has only been happening the last, like, 30 years.
Sure, but do you really think we can go back to simplifying?
No, but I think there's something to be said about as we progress, right? We're starting to see more societal issues as a result of some of the technology and the apps, right? We're seeing this. Like, we can't deny that. Like, problems in youth, problems in all sorts of stuff, like antisocial behavior, all this stuff. So it might come to the point where it's like, actually, as a society, I don't know.
No, I don't think we're going to fix it. The problem is...
It'll just get worse.
I think it'll just get worse.
Fuck.
Because it's first of all, it's a big moneymaker. And in a world where, things are a big moneymaker, we're not going to give it up. And everyone uses it. This is another thing. Everyone uses a phone. And as much as we complain about it, imagine somebody being like, you can't use this anymore. Here's a flip phone.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I think it would take a lot for people to go back on the technology.
This is so true.
There might be a fringe group, because there always are,
that,
might start just using a flip phone.
I think about how nice it was back in the day. Like, I think, like, our parents and maybe even our, like, grandparents' generation don't, like, when they were working, right? If you finished your job, you were done. Like, you went home, you didn't have your access to emails. You didn't have a computer with you at home.
Yeah.
Like, you were done. Your workday finished as soon as you left. And you couldn't start it back until you went back.
Yes.
Now it's like you have your phone with you. So the expectation is you're answering emails sometimes later. You should be checking your phone periodically.
Right.
Like, and it's like, no. And even your personal phone, like before you left the house, you had no phone. Like you would be like, okay, cool.
You
like
were unreachable.
Exactly. You people could not get a hold of you until you got back home.
Yes.
Now it's like people are expecting to reach you 24/7 all the time.
It seriously drives me up the wall.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's why I rebel and I don't answer.
This is true. I mean, I've actually started doing that now, where I'm like, I'm taking a break where it's like I don't respond, because before I used to get like OCD, like I have to respond to these messages right away. Now I'm like, nah.
Taking your time.
Yeah, and so now it's like.
But don't do that with me, Daniel.
I have been. No, I've been doing it. No, to be fair, I've been doing it with everyone. Where I'm like, I'm not getting anxious about it. I'm like seeing a message notification pop up. I'm like, great, I'll deal with it later.
It's so weird that you get anxious about it. It really doesn't bother me.
I used to. It's now I feel like I'm coming to terms where I'm just like, you know what? It's fine.
Yeah.
Whereas the younger me was like, oh my God, I need to get back to them right away.
Interesting.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, it's not even that I'm like purposely being like, let me ignore. I'm just like, I look at all the messages and I'm just like, can't look at it. It's like looking at a pile of chores. You know, when you're like, you have so much shit to do that you don't want to do anything.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
See, mine's also, I mean, it's not exactly like that, but I'll definitely like see the messages and I'm like, okay, well, I'm in the middle of something right now. The old me would have paused, done it. The new me's like, no, I'm going to finish what I'm doing, and then I'll message later.
I think now I'm really, I like the idea of phone calls.
Yeah.
I think I would actually prefer, which is very crazy, because before I was like, don't call me ever. But now I'm like, you know what? If you want to get a hold of me, probably should call me.
You're a changed woman.
Because I'm like, I'm not going to look at the message.
Yeah. God damn. So I should just start calling you now.
If it's something that you want a response to, just call me, Daniel.
I guess I'll just start calling you every day.
Yeah.
God damn, you think I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, Daniel's calling me again. Daniel. Get off there.
Well, I remember like I had some friends that would like have regular phone calls with their friends, and I'm like, it's kind of nice.
See, I do have regular phone calls with my friends.
Really?
But not my friends in Calgary.
Right, because you see them.
Exactly. So like, for example, I literally this weekend I caught up with my friend from Australia. So we
that's really good.
Yeah, we try to once every couple of months, and same with a couple of my friends from the UK. I do that as well. So it's like you try to like keep that level. I don't know. And I just, it's because they're not here, it's like you can have like a FaceTime.
You make the effort. Hey. Yeah. Yeah. I think I used to do that back in the day. Now I just don't. God damn. This is how people lose their like friendships and stuff.
Of course. Because I mean,
this is easy.
This is the hard part, especially as we get older. It's like, how do you maintain those connections?
I can barely maintain the connections in Calgary.
Very true. No.
Daniels.
I'm kidding. But no, it becomes harder because like as you get older, it's like we're all getting in relationships or other things, like having kids and doing all this stuff, and it becomes a lot harder.
I don't even have kids. What's gonna happen?
No one will see you once you have kids.
Daniel, you gonna be Uncle Daniels?
Goddamn no. Yeah, but I think you're right. I think calls are nice. I do like calls.
Well, there was an issue on the plane. This is completely off topic. I don't know why I thought of. Oh, because we thought of kids.
Yeah.
So on the plane, we were getting off in Calgary, and there was a family in front of us, young family with 2 young kids. Okay, we're talking baby and toddler. Lucky me, right? Luckily, I had my headphones. You know, I have a mode when I'm on flight mode. I have like my little neck pillow. I've got my big headphones in, and I usually have an eye mask in.
So you're like the phone. You know, you can put your phone on airplane mode. Rose has an airplane mode.
I'm on airplane mode. But still, I can obviously hear a fucking screaming child if there is one. This child, like, again, I was passed out. I was super tired.
Yeah.
But, like, I didn't think that the child was too bad. You know. But they were, like, you know, being like, meh, 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 you know, being a child. But not the worst I've experienced. So as we're getting off this flight, again, like, I don't know what other interaction there was, but I hear these 2 people arguing. There's a woman that's standing up that was clearly sitting in front of this couple and these kids. And she was basically being like, your kids have been screaming in my ear this entire flight. Your kids have been yelling this entire flight. And then the mom was like, well, you should just get business class then. Next time, just get a business class ticket. And then I think the lady that was, you know, saying that they were screaming, she was like, they were pounding on my seat the whole time, blah, blah, blah. She just kept saying, just get a business class flight, blah, 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 blah. What do you think, Daniel? Who's in the right?
Why should you have to get a business class flight? Look,
I totally agree with that.
I get it. Like, you know what? There has to be some like leeway because like the kids are going to have a shit time exactly on a plane. Like it's not designed for children. At the end of the day, though, as a parent, you have to also try to get in control as much as you can. Yeah. And like, if your kid is like, because I've been in planes where kids have been like kicking my seat constantly. And it's like, okay, I get it. But like, like the first or second time it happens, stop your kid from doing it. Right. Just be like, and I'm not going to freak out if it's like once or twice. If it's an entire flight, like there's been times where I've like turned around and been like, can you stop kicking my seat?
It was a 4-hour flight.
Exactly. So like, that's not acceptable anymore. It's like, you have to have there's a little bit of gray area, but like, there's a point where it's like, okay, get your kid under control.
I think, but it was interesting though, because a lot of people that were witnessing this seem to agree with basically the lady left, and then they were like, oh, I'm so sorry you had to deal with that horrible lady, your kids were fine, blah blah blah. But I don't think they understood exactly what they said, because I am pretty sure that the lady said the kid was pounding on my seat. So there's a difference between just yelling, right, because then the whole plane can hear, but if the woman was sitting in front and the kid was pounding on her seat, fucking hell. To be fair, she probably should have said something before.
Of course. Yeah, you don't leave it the whole flight. You turn around and you're like...
And just say, hey.
I would say something.
Exactly.
Like the first couple, no. But then after a while, you're like, hey, can you please stop your child from kicking my seat? Like maybe switch seats with them?
Exactly. And for me, I think the reason why I side more with the lady that was complaining is because the mom, just her reaction was very, get a business class flight. Yeah. And it's like, well, no, you shouldn't have to get a business class flight.
Exactly. Get your kids under control.
Get your kids under, exactly, to me, that sounds like someone that didn't even make an effort to get your kids under control. She's probably, your kids can do no wrong.
Yeah. She's probably practicing gentle parenting. Yeah. That's what she's doing.
This is what I mean.
Sometimes your kids need a smack. Okay.
This is what I mean. I think again, for me, I try to see both sides, right? Because obviously as a parent, it must be very stressful.
Oh, and it's hard.
Taking your young child on
a flight. Of course.
I totally understand that. But I think you also have to understand that people are on this fucking flight.
Exactly.
And I think for me, just an effort is enough.
Yeah.
Like, if you are making an effort and I can tell that you're at least trying or you're exhausted.
Yeah.
And like, you know, you're at least trying to get your kid to like calm the fuck down.
Even though your kid might not be, but you're like trying to like get them.
But if you're not even trying at all.
And you're just like leaving it.
And you're so unapologetic.
Gentle parenting.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
So yeah, that was an interesting experience. Yeah. Witnessed a little plane
drama.
Drama.
There's always drama on the plane. Honestly.
There's
always
drama.
Shit going on. I told you guys, from now on when I fly, I'm a very selfish person. I'm no longer, the old me. I think I talked about this story about how like I ended up switching seats. Yeah. I went to my seat and someone was already sat in my seat, which unacceptable.
Unacceptable. That alone.
I know. And then was like, can I just sit here because my girlfriend's here and we don't want to blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh yeah, fine. Where's your seat? And it was over there. And that's where the child fucking kicked me for a 9-hour flight.
No. Did you say something?
Yeah. I told the mom and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then she tried to like cuddle up her daughter and then her daughter kicked me later. And I was just like, oh my God, I fucking hate this. And I did tell her a few times.
Yeah.
Like I was like, please.
Was
like,
she alone?
Yeah, it was just her and her daughter. And I was just like,
wait, but just her and her daughter.
Yeah.
God, fucking tape them down.
I know. Anyway, so and then I think eventually like they switched seats. I can't remember what happened, but anyway, it was like it was just a lot, and I didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
From now on, I'm just gonna be like, sorry guys, like that's my seat. Go sit somewhere else. Like,
yeah,
you know.
And then you'll still end up with the guy kicking through your seat.
probably. But I'm just like, I'm gonna start being selfish. And that was a window seat too, so I should have been like, actually, I paid extra for that seat to be a window seat.
Fucking ridiculous. I can't believe he had the audacity to just take your seat without even asking first. But if you're already sitting there, it's like you already feel bad for no fucking reason.
Also, what I don't understand though, and this happened like a little while ago when I got on a flight, and like there was about 6 different people that all somehow miraculously were all in the same
seat.
We're all in the wrong seats. Like so many people were fucking moving around. There was someone, and this was like they were legitimately made a mistake.
Right.
I remember I was going to my seat. And I was like, oh, I'm really sorry, that's my seat. And they're like, oh, you're in 16C? And I was like, yeah, that's my flight.
And that was their seat.
And then they're like looking, they're like, oh no shit, I'm actually in 21C. And so many people were like moving around, and I was like, guys, the seats are pretty easy. Like ABC 1, 2, 3. Like I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what went wrong.
I know. I'm like, I mean, I get it if it's like the seats are really confusing, but I'm like, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, on that positive note,
guys, Rose is back for 2 weeks.
I'm back for 2 weeks. Woo!
Yeah. Woo-hoo!
And then I'm leaving again.
Yeah.
I am exhausted.
Going to Bali.
I'm going to Bali, which is very exciting, actually.
I know. The Bali's super fun.
Yes, but it's a very long journey. Oof.
Yeah.
Anyways,
yeah,
guys,
and the jet lag is real.
Jet lag is so fucking real. I'm jet lagged right now.
Yeah.
Because I was in Europe. So I woke up like at 4 a.m, just fucking wide awake.
But it's crazy because like the last time I went to Asia, I don't remember the jet lag being that bad. And actually when I went to Australia, right after like a couple of weeks after we went, I seemed to be fine. But when we got to Thailand,
it was bad.
The first couple of nights, I really struggled to sleep.
Right.
Like
and
I was
never
like,
struggle.
and I usually just like pass out. So like it was a lot.
Interesting. So we'll see how my jet lag goes this time. My body's gonna be so confused because I'm back for like literally less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to Asia. So it's like Europe, North America, Asia. Where are you, bitch?
Yeah.
Anyway,
guys,
make sure you check out our trip to the Canadian Rockies.
Yeah.
Okay, hiking and camping with us. It'll be so fun. I'm so excited.
It'll be fun as hell.
So that's going to be in August 2025. The details will be linked below. Make sure you check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/The SaVeg Podcast. Exclusive episodes, ad-free, and bonus content. What else, Daniels?
Also, guys, if you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, don't forget to hit that follow. You get updated as soon as there's new episodes live. If you're watching this on YouTube, obviously give this video a thumbs up. Show us some love in the comment section down below and subscribe to our channel. And
that's it, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.